Hello and welcome to day 24. I just hit my tree, my fake tree. You know what I decided? I decided that the past few days I have been a bit tired recording, but I've still made myself record because consistency is the best thing in the world. Then I realized I do not have to sit here like this. As someone with ADHD, I can sit in whatever position I want. So if I want to lie down halfway through this, upside down, I have the free will to do that. So instead of the little microphone that I usually have, I've connected another microphone, which means I am now no longer obligated to sit upright, even though I might still. But maybe one day, or maybe even today, I will sit upside down and just talk to you guys whilst I'm sitting upside down on the couch. And that's completely okay because I get to decide what I do. Isn't that great? Then the other thing I wanted to mention was I think 2 days ago I uploaded a video without any audio, and a few of you still proceeded to watch the video with subtitles on for a full 30 minutes. So for those of you who did that, like, you have my eternal love. That is like another level of love and support that I will eternally remember. Like, I think about a few hundred of you literally watched it with the subtitles, no audio, no speaking. I've since gone and uploaded the new one, and thank you again to everyone who told me. I'm very grateful. I literally uploaded it, went to sleep, then woke up the next morning, and then I saw a bunch of comments like, there's no audio. And I'm like, oh no, I know what's happened. Because I'm using a new editing software, which has sped things up. We've set it up now. It's a bit easier. Peter set up the color grading. We just like, this is not important, but let's just do something. And now I just have to right click and apply this button. And so long as I sit in roughly the same spot, but obviously it's going to change if I lie down, then the coloring is going to look the same. So that is about efficiency, and it's saving me time. So today Peter and I went out for lunch to a pizza place that was supposed to go to yesterday, but we were too tired yesterday because we were talking about improving our relationship. And then my reflection was the food was really good, but this is maybe the first time where I've felt like you could tell the staff was stressed because it was busy and they're trying to get the food out as soon as possible. The food came out really quickly. The food was pretty good, but I just felt like it was really hectic. There's just people running around everywhere. And I think maybe because we were seated closest to the pizza making station, which is kind of, it's an outdoor kitchen at the back where they have like a pizza oven, and there's just a lot of yelling and screaming coming from there. So this is the first time that I was like, oh, the food was good, but the ambience, I never usually really pay attention to ambience. And I'm like, maybe I won't come back here because the ambience wasn't so suited to my liking. And that's the first time I've ever said that. So holy shit, what type of person am I becoming? But I maybe just need to go back there and not during the lunch rush on a weekday maybe, and then it will be more enjoyable. So yeah, that was lunch. Then I wanted to share something with you guys. The other day, I had to ask a question to Joelle because it's for one of the videos we're making. So one of my team asked me to ask Joelle something, so I asked him, and pretty much this is the question. So we did an interview with Dear Straight People, which is a, as you can, I don't think I need to explain what Dear Straight People is. It's a YouTube channel, but Dear Straight People, the name tells you what the content is about. It is a message to straight people to inform them about the life of the LGBTQ plus community. Anyway, in that interview, Joelle said that we were his dream boys. He, I find it so funny when I say that word, but essentially he looked up to Peter and I, admired us. And then the question to him was, now that he's known us better and gotten to know us better, now that we're all dating, does he still have that same feeling to us? Because in many ways he romanticized the idea of what our relationship was like. So maybe I'll rephrase the question. I'll read out what I asked him. Like back then, when you watched the content, you had a certain interpretation of our relationship and us. Is it still the same? What has changed in the image in your head that you used to hold versus now you actually got to know us? And Joelle said, I do still hold on to the exact same dream that I look up to all the while. I used to think being sweet the whole time throughout your relationship is what makes the relationship become stronger and stronger. But after knowing you guys better, my view shifted in the sense that being in love doesn't mean every single day you're living in a blissful, sweet, and argue-free fairy tale like what was depicted online. Being in love meant that there are bound to be hurdles and arguments you have to face to communicate and to solve together with your partner, and that is what brings your relationship to the next level. And like, I'm having all these random thoughts these past few days because I saw another Instagram reel which was weddings. And weddings are like the most romanticized idea of love, I think, apart from maybe movies. But what I've come to realize is that going through life, we are really often painted with romanticized versions of what love should be. Nobody is publishing their arguments online, but everyone is publishing online how much they love their partner, how much they appreciate them, all the really high emotionally feely stuff, because I think one, that's what people resonate with. People in many ways don't want to hear when you've had an argument because like life is tough and we want good feelings, good vibes. But the impact of that is that many of us end up seeing that love is all about being sweet, being romantic, taking care of each other. But the other side that is not shown is working through conflicts and through your relationship. So there's been a few times that Joelle and Dan have seen Peter and I get into arguments and seen how we talk to each other, how we repair, how we move past that. And I think that is what has shaped or changed his view, his perspective on what love in a relationship is. And it's something that Peter and I have always believed from the beginning. Maybe that's because Peter and I fought a lot when we first started dating. Well, I didn't think we fought. It's more that how we both lived our lives. And I think because we moved in together very early on, we clashed a lot. So there felt like there was a lot of conflict. But over the years, we've worked through it. We've learned what is important to keep communicating. And yeah, I think, and over the years, we've realized what love actually is. And we slowly understand more and more what love means to us. And I think for every person, love has a slightly different meaning. Yes, there's still the really romantic times where you tell them how much you love them and you tell them how much you appreciate them. But there's also the periods where you have conflict and how you work through that with your partners. I think represents more about your relationship and how I was going to say how long it's going to last. But again, I'm of the opinion that a lasting long relationship is not necessarily a positive thing. Again, you can be in a relationship that is long, but you may be really unhappy in it and you're staying in it just because you feel like you should stay in it. Versus you could be in a really short relationship. Like one of my exes, who's still one of my closest friends, my favorite ex that I get along with really well still, like I can call him. I could call him right now. And then literally last time I arrived in Hong Kong, I just called him just randomly. I hadn't spoken to him for 6 months. And I'm like, I'm in Hong Kong, what are you doing? He's like, what the fuck? You're in Hong Kong? That's the kind of relationship that we have. It's really chill. But that relationship was maybe 1-2 years. And no, our relationship didn't last forever. But was it a good relationship? Yes. In the end, we ultimately decided we had different priorities in life at the stage where we were, but that didn't diminish the value of our relationship. So I think there's this expectation in society nowadays that a good relationship is a long relationship. And in many ways, I do feel like I have to congratulate people when they tell me, oh, I've been with my partner for 20 years now. I'm like, wow, good for you. But the reality is, I feel like people should be congratulating me for a 2-year relationship with an ex who is I'm still best friends with. And actually, I think that's one trait that I have in common with many of my close friends. I'm just thinking now, I have one close friend who is still really close with his ex. They even still have a place together. They still kind of do business together. They talk to each other, but at the same time, they're like, yeah, we argue a lot about everything. That's why we're not together anymore, but we're still good friends. And that relationship didn't last forever, but you look at it and you're like, wow, that was a good relationship because you two were on the same page. And even up to the end, when you realize that the relationship could come to an end in the format that is what people traditionally expect. For example, you're no longer boyfriends, but now you've moved on to be friends. And again, I know I'm side tangenting, but I had these two friends who were in a relationship for a very long time. Then one of them moved to New York, one of them moved to Hong Kong, and they were essentially doing long distance for a while. Then the next time I saw them, they told me, "Oh, we've broken up." I remember looking at them because we were spending a lot of time together with them that trip, and I'm like, "You guys don't seem like you've broken up. Like you still take care of each other, like I remember you guys did." One of them wanted to stay late at a party one night, and the other one's like, "Oh, I'm going to stay with him to make sure he gets home safe." And I'm like, that is exactly the type of thing a partner would do. So it was that experience that really changed my perspective on what a relationship is. And I'm hoping I'm really able to articulate this because it's a huge realization that I've had recently. But society defines a relationship between two people, let's say romantic, in a very specific way. You need to call each other a certain amount of time. You need to live together. If you don't live together, then you're considered a long distance relationship. And if you're not trying to move together, then your relationship isn't going to work out. And these two guys, they didn't have any plans to end up in the same place, but I still felt their relationship was so strong and I still felt that they were together. So I had the chat with them and I asked them, like, you guys feel, to me and to everyone else, it feels like you guys are still in a relationship, but how come you guys have said you're broken up? And the answer was, oh, because we don't call as often. We don't get to see each other as often, and we have no plans to be together in the near future. Like we're not planning, one of us isn't planning to move to the other, so we decided to break up. And then I remember I said to them, but hang on a minute, why do these three factors mean that you shouldn't still be together? Like you have to remember that a relationship, like saying that you're a boyfriend, is a label. And if that label doesn't exist, then what are you guys still? Are you really close friends, good friends? He's my ex that I'm really close to. The labels can get a lot more specific. And those are still labels. They don't necessarily determine how you feel towards a person or can accurately describe what your relationship with that person is. Similarly, when we got into our quad situation, the label, when we're getting really close, the label of like boyfriends didn't really fit because we didn't feel like that was what we were, but at the same time we were definitely closer than friends. And over time, obviously, we moved to the consensus that, okay, we feel a lot closer to being boyfriends than just friends, so we will give it that label. But at any given point, you have to remember that friend, boyfriend, best friend, they're all labels, and there are all these, it's a scale, and there are all different stages between. So for those two, what we ultimately concluded is you guys are no longer boyfriends. You've decided to no longer be boyfriends by the traditional society's definition. But for example, if something happened to one of you on the other side of the world and you needed the other one 100% would be there in the blink of an eye, no questions asked. And that's the type of thing that society would traditionally expect from like a very close friend, a boyfriend, or let's say a soulmate in this instance. So what we concluded after talking with them, what I concluded with them is you guys are still so close. You still really love each other. You still take care of each other, but you're just not in a relationship in the sense of what society has expected you to be, and don't expect to be in a relationship in that specific way. Like you don't need to have to call someone a certain amount of times or see someone a certain amount of times to be able to feel like you have a relationship with them. And yeah, so this is a long side tangent. But ultimately, I think the point that I was trying to make is that society teaches you or conditions you to see relationships and what love is in a very specific way, when in reality, it is so different from every single person. And what this means is no one person's version of what love is, what a relationship is correct or wrong. Like, I could ask each of you, if you had a partner and you only got to see them one time a week, would you still consider dating them? Some of you are going to say yes, some of you are going to say no. Like Peter and I need to see this guy 7 days a week. Like, we are pretty much glued together. And if we're not glued together, then like I'm gonna be emotionally distraught. So some of you will be like, oh, 1 day a week, that's more than enough for me. I'm happy to still date someone at seeing them 1 day a week. Others of you are going to be like, oh, if that's 1 day a week for an indefinite future, that's not what I want from my partner. Again, the point of a relationship is to find a match on two people's requirements. And when they are together, you guys collectively contribute more to each other's lives than if you are not together. That is what I think a relationship is. And we should be reminded and always remember that a relationship is not always rosy and rainbows. And sometimes what makes the relationship even more fulfilling is being able to work through the difficult times and challenges with Peter. Peter and I had another argument today. I was like, oh, should we do something for a YouTube video? And I'm gonna explain the arguments to you guys. It's not really an argument, it's more a misunderstanding, but when I say should we, I'm inviting him to have a conversation with me to discuss if we should or should not. But Peter is the type of person who does not like asking anyone to do anything. Like, he really absolutely hates. He will never say, can you please take out the rubbish? So instead, he pads it with should we take out the rubbish? And when he says should we take out the rubbish, this is what I learned today. He actually means can you take out the rubbish? So when he heard me say should we do blah 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 for this video, he heard it as we need to do blah 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 for this video. And because he was the one working on it, he suddenly felt, oh my goodness, now you're telling me to go do this thing and it's more work for me. So now I'm really upset because you're trying to put more work onto me, when really all I was trying to do was have a conversation with him, because he raised another point, which is why I raised this point, as to whether we should or should not do this thing. So yeah, every argument or disagreement that Peter and I have, I think the reality is it brings us closer because we now understand each other in a different way. Like, I knew Peter hated asking people things. I knew Peter hated asking anyone for anything, but I didn't realize it's to the level that he used should as a prompting word. Because for me, should is like if I wanted him to do it, I would just say, can you please do this? I would not ask, should we do this? Which for me is phrased as a question. So yeah, different people, different point of views, different ways to do things, different communication styles. Find a match with a partner or partners that you feel you are comfortable with, you grow with, you're happy with. What everyone's level of comfort and growth looks like is going to be different, and that's okay. That was like one of the most long-winded explanations I have had in a long time, but I hope it makes sense. I just want to clarify again. So my two friends, who one lives in New York, one lives in Hong Kong, at the end they agreed, oh, we still have a connection that cannot be defined by the labels that society currently has available. Like, they'll still travel with each other whenever they can. They'll go to places together, but they've decided not to label that relationship as boyfriends. And then in the end, we concluded, you're also not boyfriends. And that is the label we gave it. Not boyfriends, which is a label that doesn't make sense to many, but it makes sense to them. And then on the thought of my clothing brand, Peter sent me something today. He said, it said, don't forget that the purpose of your first drop is never to make money. I think when we do business, people do a lot of things in life for business, but when you build something good, you build something great, I think it starts more a perspective that your objective is not to make money. And when you can do that and find fulfillment in it and actually create something good, because again, your purpose is not to make money, it's to create something that's good. In this case, my purpose is to try and create clothing that I'm actually really comfortable in and I can wear anywhere. So hopefully one day I will no longer be wearing these black tank tops and I'll be wearing something else. And I will only do so if it is comfortable enough for me to consistently wear. But the point of this is, I had another friend who started like a gay party event, and I had other friends who had started before, but their objective, I think, was to make money. Well, everyone's objective in business is to make money. But what I told that friend after seeing another friend having started a business successfully was, don't try and make money at the start. Just give people a good experience because that's what they want. And if people have a good experience, then they will come back, and eventually over time you will be able to make money. But trying to make money in the first instance is probably not the greatest strategy because it means that you sacrifice things that would make the experience good for people. And ultimately, why do people keep coming back? Because it's a good experience, it's a good product. So that's something that really stuck with me today. And this is what usually happens. I will have weekend thoughts, and then now going back into the work week, tomorrow is Monday. This is something that I'll try and put into practice. Because previously, I was like, I've always learned that getting something out fast is good, because only by getting something out you can then iterate on it, which makes sense. But now I'm like, maybe I should not try and get something out as fast for the sake of it. I need to balance really understanding what I want to create. And that's part of the most enjoyable part of this process, actually, is that I get to create without constraint because I'm gonna say the maker of my own destiny here. I get to make whatever I want. So if I want to make a really comfortable t-shirt that's like oversized and the tags don't scratch me, I can take the time to do that. The pressure is obviously the longer you take, the more money you spend, but I think in the first instance, it's something that you just have to balance. You don't want to rush it, and previously I felt like I was rushing it. So I think going back to work on Monday, my message to myself is slow down. Make sure you actually really enjoy creating what you're creating and create something that matches with the brand vibe. So the brand vibe again is like chilled, relaxed, laid back. As someone with ADHD, I think I'm always one of the diagnostic criteria for ADHD in the questionnaires that you do is your brain is driven like a motor. And I feel like mine is driven like a motor. I'm always trying to do something again, the next thing. And then once I'm done that, okay, on to the next thing. Even sometimes when I'm halfway through one thing, I'll be doing another thing. That is literally ADHD. So the feeling of this brand I really wanted to embody is present, being present, appreciating the moment, slowing down, because if not, life just goes by you. I was reminded today that the life that we are living, it exists now in the present moment, not in the future, not in the past. So sometimes you just need to sit with yourself and remember like, oh, I am here now. And that's something that I'm trying to do more and more. And I think it has become more important to me in the past, I want to say 3 years since I've started running my own businesses. There's always something else that you can be doing. It's not like a job where when you work for someone else where you come home and that is your set of responsibilities. Because now I am now the maker of my own destiny. There's always something more I can be doing. So it does in some ways feel endless, the possibilities, which is great, which is kind of what I signed up for, but it also means my brain doesn't get an opportunity to shut off. So every now and then I come back to remind myself that I just need to enjoy the now, the present moment, whatever I'm doing, and stop worrying about all the goals or the dreams that I have. And it's really finding the balance between those two is what I'm trying to achieve in my life at the moment. So this clothing brand, Santai, I really, really hope that it embodies that and can help me in many ways to be more present and to be reminded that, oh shit, I should slow down and appreciate the current moment, because what did Master Oogway in Kung Fu Panda say? Yesterday is a mystery. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. Great quote from Master Oogway. Oogway is it actually comes, I'm fairly sure it comes from Oogway, which is the Chinese word, or maybe that's like Hokkien or Malay or whatever. Oogway is how I call a turtle or a tortoise. And I don't know what dialect I'm speaking, but it's either Chinese, Malay, Hokkien, something in the mix there. And I think that is where they got Master Oogway from, to call the turtle in Kung Fu Panda. The last two Instagram things that I want to talk about that I saw is interrupting is a sign of great respect in ADHD culture. And some people have been like, interrupting is rude. And I saw the comment section. I'm like, okay, great. You guys don't understand the essence. Yes, we understand interrupting is rude, but for ADHD people, that is often how we actually connect. So when I'm with my ADHD friends, I love the conversations because we interrupt each other and nobody gives a damn shit. And that is what I'm talking about. Because when we interrupt each other, it means we're actually listening and we're so excited by what you have to say that we want to contribute because your thought has led us to another thought. And yeah, I think neurotypical people struggle to understand it. And I understand that, like, we should interrupt people and we should listen to them. But really, from like reading that as an ADHD person and having my experience with my ADHD friends, I'm like, that is the best thing ever, because we are not intending to be rude when we interrupt each other. As ADHD friends, we are literally so excited that we cannot contain our excitement, and that's why we talk to each other. That's how we talk to each other, which I love. Last thing on Instagram, which is my last word of wisdom for you guys. If anyone is chasing a big goal, a big dream, anyone feels like they are behind right now, this is what I read today, and I hope it sticks with you. How can you be behind in life when it's your life? Boom. Holy shit, right? No one has your set of circumstances in life, and no one has had to go through what you're going through in life. No one feels your life how you do, the motivation you have to do something, the decisions you have to make. So ultimately, it is impossible for you to be behind in life because it's your life and you're exactly where you are. We love to compare to other people around us. And in some ways, it's helpful. Like if you have a goal you want to achieve and you want to move towards it, use other people as a comparison point if that is what is healthy for you to motivate yourself. But do not ever beat yourself up for feeling like you are behind other people just because other people, they might be the same age as you, they may be ahead. Because ultimately, nobody has lived your life. Nobody has gone through the experiences that you have gone through. So just chill. Just remember that your life is just that. It's your life and you get to live it however you want. And make sure you stop comparing to others in a negative sense. Some comparison is okay, because when you compare too much, I feel like it brings you down and you forget that no one else has to deal with the same challenges that you do. But that is it for today. I will read and respond to some comments tomorrow. For everyone who's still joining me after so many days, I really appreciate y'all. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And I have more energy today, and so hopefully I will have more energy tomorrow as well. Thank you and goodbye.